Hey guys, so today's video is going to be all about internships, specifically how I got my internship at 17 magazine. Now this is something that I get questions on all the time, more so in my real life than on YouTube, because I don't think most of you know that I interned at 17 magazine, but in my daily life I get questions about how I got it all the time. So I figured if so many people in my real life wanted to know how I got that, I figured a lot of you guys on the internet would want to know as well. So I'm going to be talking to you guys about how I got that internship and also the other internships that I had throughout college and how I got those and kind of what I did in my internships as well, because I feel like that's something that is really helpful. I'm also going to be giving you guys key pieces of advice that will really help you guys throughout your search for an internship. So let's just get right into the video. If you guys want to hear a little more about internships, then just keep watching. So I'm assuming most of you know what an internship is, but if you don't, it's basically a short-term job that you hold throughout college. Some internships will run for a semester or even a year, and others will be just for the summer. So I held 3 internships throughout college. My first one was at Daily Makeover, which at the time was a beauty editorial website, and it was a sister website to StyleCaster, which many of you have probably heard of. I know their articles are always going viral on Facebook and stuff. So they're a pretty big entertainment, beauty, lifestyle website. And Daily Makeover was the sister site that was owned by StyleCaster. So at that internship, I was a beauty editorial intern, and I actually got to write for the website, and I had about 2 to 3 articles posted each week, which was awesome. And I also got to manage the beauty closet and just kind of help out the other beauty editors with whatever they needed. So my next internship was at another website called Fashionista, which is basically an online street style blog for college students. And there are hundreds of contributors all over the country from different college campuses who contribute to this website. So basically what I did was I would just take pictures of people on my college campus who had good style, and I would write about their outfit and turn it into a little article. So this was also a really great internship for me to have, and it just kind of helped me build writing clips that I could show to employers or to, this was really helpful before I got my internship with 17 magazine, so I could send them my writing clips and they could see my writing style and how I was at writing and all that. So that was a really fun internship to have, and it was remote, so you didn't have to move anywhere for the summer or for the semester to participate in the internship. I forgot to mention, my internship at Daily Makeover was in New York City, so for my first internship ever, I did move to New York for the summer, and I stayed in the FIT dorms, which is a really great option for any intern who is interning in the city. If they need to find a place to live for a few days, FIT is a great resource to look into. So my first internship was in New York. My second one was remote. So I did that during the semester before the summer, and that led to my next internship, which was at 17 magazine, which is awesome, and I'm still so proud of that to this day. So at 17, I was also the beauty intern there as well, and basically what I got to do was sit inside their beauty closet and do credits for the magazine. If you don't know what credits are, basically anything featured in the magazine is credited. So I would have to email the PR people for brands and get the credit information so we could feature it in the magazine. So that's a big portion of what I did. I also got to organize the summer beauty sale, which is when we kind of clean out the beauty closet and sell everything that we're getting rid of for really cheap prices, like $1, $2, $3 to all of the Hearst employees. And if you don't know, Hearst is the publishing company that makes 17 magazine. So the summer beauty sale is a huge deal because you'll have brands like YSL and Tom Ford and other high-end brands like that being sold for $5, $10, really cheap prices like that. So that's one of the big things that I got to do. I also got to brainstorm headlines for the magazine. So any of the beauty editorials that were featured in the magazine, if an editor asked me to do so, I would help them come up with ideas for the headlines or the taglines for that story, which was pretty cool. I was also featured in the magazine for the September issue when I was there, and I got to quote, I think it was a Batiste dry shampoo and how much I loved it, and they featured my picture in it, which was a really awesome moment to me, and I still have like like 10 of those magazines to this day because I thought it was so cool. But other than that, I also got to call in products for photo shoots. So anytime an editor wanted to feature a specific item in a photo shoot, I would have to contact the PR people and get it sent over. I also got to assist with some of the beauty editorial photo shoots, which was awesome and so much fun. So I would just help out with anything that the editors needed for that. So I held my internship with 17 the summer before my junior year of college, and it was also in New York, so I had to move back to New York, and this time I didn't stay in the FIT dorms. I actually used an Airbnb for the summer, and I lived in Astoria, Queens, which was so much fun, and I loved it there. So those were all the internships that I held throughout college that eventually led to my full-time job after college at L'Oreal. So now I'm going to get into some key pieces of advice that I think will be beneficial to anyone who is thinking about getting an internship or currently searching for one. So the first piece of advice that I would have for you guys would be to start interning as soon as possible. So my first internship was the summer after my sophomore year of college, which was pretty early to some, but I wish I would have started interning the summer after my freshman year, because the more internships that you have throughout college, the better. And employers are gonna be impressed the earlier that you're looking for an internship. That was also one of the biggest pieces of advice that employers have given to me throughout the years. So people from any of my past internships, I also went on school trips to other employers like BCBG, Free People, Lippy Taylor, Hervé Leger, what are some of the other ones, Ross, and met with some of the key people in human resources from that brand. And the biggest thing that they told us was to start early. Now, granted, I was already later in my college career when I met with these people, but they were giving the advice to start interning as soon as you can, because that just looks so good to an employer, and it shows that you're determined, and it shows that you're ready to work and you want to learn. So I would definitely recommend starting as early as you can, because that's going to give you the most time to kind of figure out what you want to do, because you'll be able to try more fields, or you'll be able to try different departments within the industry that you're interested in. So for example, if you're interested in beauty like I was, maybe hold an internship in PR, and then maybe hold an internship in marketing with the brand, or maybe hold an internship with social media. So just really figure out what department you want to be in and look for your internships that way. The second piece of advice that I have is to know the industry that you want to eventually be in. So for me, I immediately knew that I wanted to be in the beauty industry, and that made it a little bit easier for me on my internship search because I knew what I wanted. And I know if you don't know what you want, it can be a little overwhelming to look for an internship, because you just, where are you going to look? There's so many options. There's so many internships out there. How are you going to narrow it down to the one that you want? So you really need to know what industry you want to be in. The next piece of advice that I would have for you guys would be to expand your portfolio. So for me, that meant interning in different departments within the industry that I wanted to work in. So for my first two internships, I considered those my digital experience, and my internship at 17 was a print experience. So I kind of had experience on both ends, and that gave me more versatility to kind of go on in the real world after college to get a job, because employers would see that I had experience on both ends of the spectrum, both in digital and in print, which is always good. And by expanding your portfolio, I also mean interning as many places as possible, and also having as many different internships as possible, because like I said before, this will really help you know what you want to do. And if you try an internship in a certain field and you don't like it, then you know, and you know not to look for any other jobs or internships in that same field. So for example, if you try an internship in PR and you realize that you don't like it, then you kind of know, and you can cross that off your list, and you know that you don't want to be in PR, and it'll just help you in the long run trying to figure out what you want to do with your life, because you'll have little tastes of everything that you've tried throughout your internships, and you'll know what you like and what you don't like, so it'll just make it easier for you in the future. So the next piece of advice that I have, and the most important one for me, is to don't be afraid to take a risk. If you know exactly where you want to intern and who you want to intern for, but you don't see a listing for that internship anywhere, don't be afraid to reach out to the exact person that you want to intern for and tell them that you're interested, and just ask if there's any positions available because you would love to have the opportunity to intern for them. So for me, this was my experience with 17 magazine. So I knew that I wanted to intern at 17 because I've always read 17 for years and years and years growing up, and it was always my favorite magazine. I'm not just saying that because I interned for them. I genuinely loved the magazine because I feel like it's so much easier to read, especially for younger girls, because it's more relatable than most of the other magazines out there. Even though Allure is solely a beauty magazine, I never really felt like I could relate to it because it was just a little more on the high-end side, and 17 was geared towards more of the average girl, which was what I was. So I just always loved 17, and I knew I wanted to intern for them. So knowing that I wanted to intern for them, I kind of kept my eyes out for any listings that I saw from 17. And also another piece of advice that I can give to you, if you want to be in the beauty or the fashion industry and you don't know where to look for an internship, go to ed2010.com. I'll put it on the screen and spell it out for you guys. But that has every major magazine or website internship listing exactly on that website, and it makes it so much easier to find an internship when you have that website as a resource. That is actually how I found my first internship and also my second internship, because of that website. So I would definitely highly recommend checking out ed2010.com. I'm not sponsored by them or anything. I genuinely just think that website is an awesome resource for anyone who wants to be in the beauty or fashion or even just editorial industry in general, because it has such a huge amount of listings for different internships. I was actually told about that website by my dad's coworker's wife. Her daughter, I know that's really confusing, but her daughter at the time was working as a stylist who was assisting Rachel Zoe, I believe, and my parents set up this informational phone call with me with her, and she's actually the one that told me about the website. And I have kind of stayed in touch with her throughout the years. I recently saw her last year, and she is now one of the global editors for Hearst Publications in general, which is the entire Hearst Corporation as a whole. So she's doing really awesome, and she's basically the reason why I got all of my internships, because I got my first internship because of her, because I found it on that website, and that led to all my other internships afterwards. But yeah, definitely check out that website because it is an awesome resource to have. So anyways, I was searching that website constantly trying to find a listing for 17 magazine, and I wasn't finding anything, and the internship window was kind of slowly coming to a close, and I was kind of starting to freak out. So I decided to do my research and figure out exactly who I wanted to intern for, which ended up being the assistant beauty editor and the beauty editor. And my dad actually ended up finding their emails because I wasn't having any luck finding them. And so I'm so thankful to him for finding those emails for me. But I got their email addresses and I sent them an email, which I'm so embarrassed about to this day because I was so crazy in that email. It's so embarrassing. I think I titled it your next summer beauty intern or something like that. But I just went out on a limb and I emailed them and I told them how much I love the magazine, and I sent in my resume with that and told them that I would love to get the chance to speak with them. And sure enough, the next week I got an email back and I got a phone interview with them. From there, the phone interview led to an edit test with them, and from there I was offered the internship. So I'm telling you, don't be afraid to reach out, because for me, if I would have never done that, I would have never had the internship. So I'm telling you, seriously, don't be afraid to reach out to people. Most of the time people are willing to be helpful to you. You just have to kind of go out on the limb and take the risk and do it. So I'm so glad I did it. I was honestly so scared before I sent out the email, but I just did it and it ended up really paying off. So I'm so happy I did that. And the last piece of advice that I have for you guys would be to start off with a smaller company for your first internship. So for me, Daily Makeover and StyleCaster in general was a smaller company at the time. They were more of a startup. So it was easier for me to get in the door with them because of that. You don't want to start off trying to get 17 as your first internship, because they do look for experience when it's such a high profile company like that. So they're generally going to look for someone with 1 internship or 2 internships under their belt. Unless you know someone, then it's a little different. But if you don't know anyone and you're just doing it all yourself, they are going to look for prior experience. So I would definitely recommend starting off with a smaller company, but still in the field that you want to be in. So for me, I looked for a smaller startup website, and that ended up being an awesome first internship for me. And just because they're a smaller company, that doesn't mean that you can't learn a lot from them. I learned so many helpful lessons, and I got to experience so many cool things within my first internship. I got to speak to the CEO of the company on a daily basis, which was awesome, and he really got to know all of the interns. So it can really be a beneficial thing for you to do to start off with a smaller company. So that's just a small piece of advice. You don't have to. It's just something that I learned throughout the years. So I think that is all I have to say for you guys. Let me know if you have any internship or other career-based questions below in the comments, and I will be more than happy to answer them for you guys. And let me know of any other videos that you would like to see. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!